The European Parliament has voted to endorse a COVID-19 travel certificate. It will allow people to travel within the bloc without needing to quarantine or show proof of coronavirus tests. It comes just in time for the continent to welcome tourists this summer. More than 1 million Europeans have received the certificate already. Some key destinations like Italy are already reporting brisk bookings. Spain says it hopes to reach up to 70% of pre-pandemic tourism levels. Now, for more, Lucy Hoff joins us from Brussels. Lucy, how will the scheme work?
Well, Steve, it will work in three ways. It comes in either paper or digital form with a QR code that tells the gateway, as it's known, the system that shares this information, whether or not a person has been fully vaccinated, whether they've tested negative for COVID-19 within the last 72 hours, or if they've recovered from a recent COVID-19 infection at least over 15 days ago and can prove that they have antibodies as a result of that infection. So this will allow borders that have had a patchwork of restrictions put up across the EU27 over the last more than a year or so. We've seen a patchwork of different quarantine and testing requirements put up between neighbouring EU nations. And certainly the message when this proposal was debated by lawmakers in the European Parliament yesterday was that it was of deep urgency to ensure that there is freedom of movement within the EU. There will also be the potential for fully vaccinated third country nationals to come into the EU, provided they can prove that they've been fully vaccinated or that they're coming from a country deemed to be safe. For the moment, though, that shortlist includes Singapore, Australia and Japan, as well as a handful of other countries. But it is expected that more countries will be added as we continue to make our way through the summer months. And we know that the EU is in talks with the UK and the US about being added to that list within the coming weeks and months.
Yeah, things are moving quickly, I would imagine. More European cities also easing restrictions as summer season approaches.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing a real big lifting, particularly today. Here in Belgium, we've got the reopening of indoor dining for the first time in over 7 months. We've got the reopening of gyms, of sports salons, of studios. People here in Brussels are allowed for the first time to walk in public places on the streets without wearing a face mask, which is, again, a restriction that's been in place for more than 7 months now. A similar picture in France, where, again, indoor dining is reopening. Restrictions on outdoor dining are being lifted. There's an easing of the curfew that's been in place since the end of last year. There's also the potential for mass events to take place with large crowds, provided you're carrying a vaccine pass or proof of a negative test. France, like other countries, including Spain, is now keen to reboot its tourism industry. It will be allowing travellers in from, as I say, third countries, provided they can prove that they've been fully vaccinated or coming from that list of safe countries. So certainly a big lifting of restrictions as Europe's vaccination rollout continues to pick up at speed and as case numbers continue to decline.
Yes, good news. Lucy Hoff, thanks very much for that. Lucy Hoff speaking to us from Brussels.